welcome to Just Cause, everybody. I got on the Southside Alliance's fresh new gear, man. You can hit them up on Shaquan's
I've been wearing
page.
my mask actually all week.
Okay. Yeah, Shaquan got it cracking over there, man. The Southside Alliance is really doing good things, and just constantly staying involved with the community and hitting, points in the community where just aren't being touched. You know what I'm saying? They're doing a really great job. I'm really proud of everything that they've all accomplished. Their group is kind of growing. They've added a few really valuable members to the group, and you could kind of see with their programming and organization, as a whole, they're really maturing. So, man, it's cool, man. Southside Alliance did that thing with Shaquan and them, with our producer that's not here again.
Yeah.
She's been busting her ass this whole last 2 months. She's been going hard, man, with her job and stuff like that, man. She's
been organizing a lot of events and
been doing the stuff for the community. You know what I'm saying? Man, she's great, bro. She deserves a lot of credit for the things she accomplished this year, man, and a lot of praise for.
I was just thinking about that, like how, because we haven't we just met her this summer, and it's like the amount of things that she's done.
Yeah.
I like Southside Alliance, but a lot of it does fall on her.
Right. Well, with the group, all of them, and then it's like Charles and Chauncey, with their new organization, Move. Their
new podcast. We got to give a shout out to Move's new podcast.
Yeah, man, they had their first episode. Yep, they got it up there on the page. I think we shared it on Chinook's page and Just Cause's page as well.
Yeah, check it out.
So yeah, man, they're doing great, man. And
baritone on there.
yeah.
It's quiet baritone.
They're good. They're doing good. I told them, I was like, hey man, the mic level a little bit, such and such, but it was good, man. And you could tell that they're not just wanting to follow the norm and talk about silliness or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like what you would think people their age would be doing. They have a real conversation, and they're smart dudes, man. So I'm really glad that they're comfortable with stepping out and just talking in front of folks and being leaders that they are. I think they've been leaders. The cream rises to the top on every time.
Exactly. They have really shown themselves to be leaders. It's been incredible, watching them from. I think the first time I met Charles, and I didn't actually meet them, was the first protest after Devon Bailey was murdered.
Yeah.
Charles was just out there, he was being real, you know what I'm saying? Then meeting them months later, working with them and stuff, and then watching them be to show up to meetings, not really talking, and now being out there leading the protests, and now they got their own podcast.
I've literally given them the mic, here man, help me out.
Yeah, totally.
And lead the chants and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's the organic leadership, it's all here.
Yeah, totally.
And it's just again a testament to understanding that our community just needs the power, the people power, and to build the community
and
together.
Supporting people when they need it and where they need it and whatnot.
Just the little spots where they could get the little help at, and the community can get that thing together for them. It don't always got to be the same person or the same people, and we've demonstrated it organically, man. It's been really dope, man. It's been really dope. And anyway, it going on Be the Change 719. They're doing really great things, man. We were just talking about some stuff. I don't know. They're actually on the lineup here, so we'll bring them up a little later.
Chauncey's even there.
Is he on?
Much love to you guys too.
Hell yeah. Much love, man. Well, I meant to go live on my thing. I'm gonna turn it on since we're kind of just doing the thing here. But
Chauncey was actually one of our first callers on the show too.
He was. I remember that. He prank called.
He pretty much prank called us, freaking us out.
Yeah.
When he was like, John.
I hear something. I'm what the hell is going on, Chauncey? What is that?
But then I learned days later, oh, that was me calling. Thanks, Chauncey.
I just went live on my thing. What's happening, y'all?
There we go.
But so anyway, I forgot.
What are we talking about?
We were kind of being retrospective and talking about what happened in the year.
It's been a year for sure.
A full one, bro. And
365.
The trend has been, oh man, 2020 just sucked, and F 2020. And I made a post on my page to be honest, man, besides my mom is sick, there's things that's happening personally, you know what I mean? It's been a good year, man.
I don't want to be the person that's actually, it's not too bad for me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know a lot of people didn't. It wasn't a good year for a lot of folks. But
over 300,000 people died from COVID.
Yeah. I guess that's this kind of So, in perspective, you know what I'm saying. And from where I'm standing and what we accomplished in our community, I guess is a more clear
exactly.
way to put
I think that we were talking about this sort of early. Sometimes change is painful. And I think that 2020 is one of those years. We saw this in talks about the 60s, they look back on the 60s now as like, that's when things were happening.
Right.
You know, but as the 60s were happening, people I'm sure were like, wow, this is horrible.
Right, yeah, like this sucks, dog. Yeah, could you imagine being, oh man. And then, you know, also again, like that's all we really had to draw from because, you know, the 80s, we kind of got skipped there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan did a number on us, man. But, so anyway, when you say that there's pain involved in growth, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you know, maturing as a community,
country and
country,
world
yeah.
and
You know, there's
you know?
pain. You're gonna have to confront things that you're not comfortable with, and we've had to do a lot of that, and I think everybody has.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you haven't, then it's just like because you're like, I don't care. I'm closing my eyes. Don't talk to me about politics. I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like you were purposefully not doing.
We talked about this in a talk months ago that I'm sure a lot of people are like, Civil War really sucks. But all the slaves that were freed after the Civil War were like, maybe it's painful for you guys, but kind of needed to happen.
Yeah, like,
you know, we've been putting it off for years and years and years. Yeah. Kind of just needed to happen.
Yeah, like 400 years before that, it's like, come on, bro. Like, that's enough of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you're right. And there's more of it. So, and again, like, the most extreme of circumstances with slavery in the transatlantic slave trade to Jim Crow. You know, just you can lay all of these things out, right? All of those things were different than what we're dealing with today.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I watched the thing with Bobby Seale. He said, you know, I can't remember the very context of the beginning of the conversation, but inside of his answer, he said, you know, the Black Panther Party, our movement was a successful movement. You know, it wasn't like we failed and got beat and they killed everybody and put everybody in jail and we just failed. He said that's not what happened. Yeah. We accomplished what we set out to accomplish, and that there is a new set of goals for the next generation that we should have been partaking in. You know, throughout the '80s when Reagan had his damn thumb on us, and now it's just catching up. You know what I'm saying? So all we have to look back at is situations that are not the same as they are now. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to understand where you are and what you're really going through, and what is really the friction point in getting free. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, I made a comment about and you know, I do this thing on my social media on Sundays, things I learned this week. And you know, I do it as a way. I started doing it like long time. I don't know, maybe 2 years ago or so.
Right.
And it was like a thing to just be retrospective and just kind of like figure out, you know, all right, what the hell, what was really going on right here? You know, just kind of take a step back type of deal. So anyway, then it was like, man, well, shit, maybe somebody else could kind of use these things or whatever. And then, you know, just whatever happens. So I do this thing, and it's, you know, it's not a huge deal, but I put on there things that I really did go through this week. You know what I'm saying? I really did have to learn something from this, and this is what came out of it. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I said was that, you know, America celebrates its oppression. You know, the first black general in whatever, position or whatnot. All of these crazy. I saw another one. The first black female drill instructor for some portion of the Marines or some shit. And it's like, hooray, hooray. You know what I'm saying? It's a great post or whatever. And this is like, man, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta, at a certain point, you gotta look at really is what is happening. You know what I'm saying? And what you need to do to I don't know if the word is need, but you know where the need to fix things is at. You know what I'm saying? And whoever's responsibility is whoever picks the damn ball up, I think. You know. So anyway, it's good to be just think back on the things that's gone down and what you were doing when it happened, and now think what you were thinking while we were going through it, and then now where we are now. You know what I'm saying? I think
that's a great time. That's a perfect segue to our show today.
Nice.
Looking back on, I guess we already started that conversation in a way, but like looking back at the year, and we already did our what did we learn?
Yeah.
And that's it. We only do one thing about what we learned. Once a year, we talk about what we learned. We're not going to do that again this year. No. But we wanted to do a retrospective because a lot of people have been talking about this year and like all the things that. But like you said, like a lot of things happened globally, a lot of things happened nationally, but a lot of things in the community happened too.
Right.
And we also wanted to talk about, like you were saying, social media because social media is a huge has huge influence and impact in the world now. I mean, especially since COVID broke.
My bad, I'm trying to fix the camera over here.
Because that's how so many people live their life now. Like,
right.
We experience the world mediated through social media.
Right.
And so, like, I mean, I don't know. Are we going to talk about if it's good or bad, or if it's real? I mean, it's a good question. Like, do we put it in the realm of good or bad, or whether it's real or fake or whatever? Like,
yeah, can it be all of it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I really think it is all, and the longer we go, the more of a necessity it's becoming, right?
Yeah. Well, we can't just pretend like, oh, we can't bemoan the world before social media. Like, oh, this is how it was better then. It's like,
right. It'll never be that way again.
Never going back.
Gone,
exactly.
bro.
Exactly.
Those days are over with. And it's just a matter of, like, you know, how are we going to do it, and how are we going to use it, and understanding what it's doing when we're doing it, you know what I mean? So, for example, there's people, I was in the Army for my entire adult life, from the time I was 18 years old, and I've met people every step of the way, every year, every station, and I worked with them for a long time. I can, on Facebook, find all of them that are on it. You know what I'm saying? The people that partake in it, and they're on my page. You know what I'm saying? And I can reach out and say, hey, what's up, battle, or whatever. Like, they need help. We can still reach each other. Family, you know, friends from high school that like are in Kansas and California and doing all kind of cool shit overseas and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I would never even know about it. Or they would just, we wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? So I think that all of that stuff it like saved my life. You know what I'm saying? It really did, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know what socially, like, how would this have happened? All of the things that we've seen happen, would it happen? Yeah. I don't know. You know, totally. When I first started, you know, again, I was just on social media talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And I had a homeboy, Bruce Crosby, that at the time was in Virginia, and he was in the Navy. So he was like-minded, but he was still active duty in the Navy. So, you know, he was a senior guy kind of. So he had to watch his mouth and things he was saying. He couldn't, but though he could, you know, he was very pro-black. Everybody knew exactly where he stood. But the things that I would say, he'd be like, Sean, and this, don't forget this. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just like, so he's all the way over there, and like we're learning and growing. One of my best friends is in Dallas right now, and you know, like, I went through this journey like of trying to figure out what ideology I fell under and what I was comfortable with him. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, and he was all the way over there. We're just talking on Facebook or whatnot. You know, so anyway, I could go on and on. Hickman Trailers with Chris Moore. You know, our relationship with them in the Chinook Center, it all came from just a Facebook post, and we just ended up clicking and, you know, having good conversations or whatnot with Lexi and stuff like that. So anyway, on and on and on and on and on it goes, and everybody has those stories, right? You know, but then there's the other part of it. And I gotta
say, I think the way you and I use social media, like, totally different.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm just like, I don't have the patience for a lot of social media. I'm just like, I don't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's
like a lot of people reach out to me via social media. I'm like, I'm not gonna get back to you, because like, you know, there's a lot, like, let's just say Facebook friend requests. And I know you're like, yeah, sure. Like, every single person that sends me a Facebook friend request, I'm, like, scrutinizing. Like, who is this? Why are you sending me a request? Checking all the, like, mutual friends and, like, what that means if they have those mutual friends.
Right, like,
and,
what kind of group is that? Right.
Yeah. Because I've, like, accepted a few, and I'm all, no. And, like, I've been burned by I'm all, sure, yeah, fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, what harm is it going to do? And then it's like,
nah, get your ass out of here.
No, actually, harm.
Yeah, that is true.
And I'm like, I don't talk to you. I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. Like, people that have friended me from, like, past schools and stuff, I'll be like, yeah, sure, you know, you're a nice person or whatever. And I'm like, I don't need you on my page.
Yeah, looking
like,
at my stuff.
Yeah, it's like, and I think that's, like, different conceptions of how people imagine it. Like, I've never been one of these, like, collect a bunch of, like, followers and friends or whatever. I'm just like, man, because I'm like I talk about my family and stuff on my Facebook, and it's like, you don't want people like using that. People will use that against you.
Yeah.
Like, like somebody might contact the Secret Service. about a post. You know, you never know.
Have you ever had black suits pop up at your door?
It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
It is not comfortable.
Yeah.
About a social media post.
Talking about your social media in specific. So for me, I used it for exactly the opposite.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
you're like,
I was like, you know, at a certain point, Bruce and I, we were like, man, we need to get as many people listening to this as we possibly can, and who will listen to it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, not only do we accept everyone, but we send out a bunch of friend requests to just random groups of people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So not random, but you know, like this group of people, I'm gonna send a whole list of requests. So we did that, and he and I both had like different pages that we would like do these things on. So anyway, then it was just like I stopped with the extra in the house taking pictures at my front yard and shit like this. I just stopped doing all that,
I guess,
you know
exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, this is no longer like a
family thing where I put my personal stuff. Yeah, I don't do it. You know, I'll put a picture of my baby or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, obviously, I wish you would. You know what I'm saying? I wish you would.
Why can't people just go back to taking pictures of their food?
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking about it too, man. You remember when Facebook was just like game requests, like
yes, like like what was the old Farmville or whatever? Yeah.
Like it's like, man, what
happened to them? What happened to those?
And then you see posts like, if you send me another game request, I'm deleting your ass.
But it is a good question about whether, like, thinking about the two different ways that it can go too.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, I'm a reluctant technology person, just in general. Which is why it's so hard to get an adapter for an iPad.
Right, if you see our setup right now, you'd be like, "Oh man, they did it, man!
Finally,
they finally got it figured out."
But
though,
we're like, is social media is it good for organizing?
I think it's essential.
Yeah,
for the way our culture is now. How I don't even know. Like, where does everybody go and pay attention to some shit? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, they go to the grocery store, ain't nobody paying attention to nothing on the wall or nothing.
Yeah, I know, and I'm old school. I like gotta print up some flyers.
Right.
Put them on all the community
The only way
boards.
they'll notice is if there's 1,000 of them in a line,
and
they're like, what the hell is that?
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, posters in a line. You know, like, you gotta make a visual of it. So other than that, the best way to do it is to people that you know, that they know, friends of friends, and people, and they see these things with these groups on Facebook or whatnot. I just don't see, if they turn Facebook off right now, we would be like, oh, what the hell is going on? I mean, of course, we would be cool. You know what I'm saying? We would get it figured out because we have veterans in the game. You know what I'm saying? More like people that really have done it before social media.
But I gotta say, like, one of the things I don't like about organizing is that you have to, like, you know, really good organizing, I feel like, is reaching out to individuals, be like, hey, you're gonna show up. Hey, you're gonna do this or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't like harassing people like that all the time.
There's a lot of
like
email chains and inboxing.
And people just but like one-on-one is the best, and like Facebook is good for being able to avoid that.
Right.
Like, it's good for people like me who are just like, send out an event request, you know, to people. But that's really
that's how people react. That's the way, and it's accepted, and that's the way we do it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the thing is, like, I hear like my nephews and nieces, they're like, Facebook's for old people.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's
it's
true.
like,
Facebook
well, okay, well, that's cool. Like, maybe that will be known for, that's what we do over here. You know what I'm saying? And all the other stuff will go on and figure it out somewhere else. You know what I mean? Or I don't know how this.
But see, that's the
Twitter
thing.
too. I don't know. Twitter's
like,
big as hell.
I use Twitter, but it's totally different. That's what's crazy. And like, you know, now social media has become completely balkanized, you could say. You know, like, teenagers use TikTok, like millennials use, I don't know, like Instagram, or Gen Zers use Instagram. I don't know, but there's these like generational differences, like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
I think it's better to
Facebook.
split them up like within mental categories, like where are you at, like, you know, emotionally, health-wise, mental health-wise. Like, seriously, man, I do believe that.
How are you going to do that? Are you going to say, like, TikTok folks are like...
I don't know, because it would be derogatory. So, no, I wouldn't say, I'm not even going to say that. But you are different kinds, like, to be on, like, Instagram is pictures and stuff, right? Like, I was on there, and I couldn't figure out, like, I don't have nothing to take pictures of like that. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the thing, like, I was joking with like a younger person that I know that's in an organization I'm in. She's like, "Yeah, you should do Instagram. Take a bunch of selfies or whatever." I'm like, "That's not gonna happen."
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
That's just like just selfies,
right?
Like, but that's what a lot of Instagram is.
People like all creative with the videos. And I can't figure none of that stuff out.
I mean, maybe that's just
it's just old. I know I'm old too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But so meaning that doesn't mean that it's like not useful. But that's why people like Chauncey and Charles and whoever, all of these people that are coming through. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. You grow your own, and they do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like they got this. They're on the Anchor app and some other thing. And I was like, what the hell is that? They it was just something they figured out. You know what I'm saying? Like just easy shit for you.
Oh yeah, Anchor FM. Yeah. So
we
should get on there.
Well, I agree. I follow their lead, man, because they probably know better than we do. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, because we're literally like on YouTube, like. Old school with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think people still watch YouTube, right?
I don't know, I hope so.
YouTube, I feel like, just like TV, like YouTube's the new TV, I feel like, right?
Okay.
Like,
I mean, I know you can get stuck on there. I go to YouTube, like, literally, YouTube is like a school.
Right,
like,
that's
you can
true.
learn anything on
like,
YouTube.
Atticus is always like, hey, I watched this video about this today. I watched this video about this today. Like,
yeah,
you can
like,
really.
You could watch a video and know if they're bullshitting or not. Like, that's.
Can you though? I don't know. So this is what we were talking about, like with social media, like, and like sociologists have been talking about this too. Like, part of the problem with like the internet culture is you don't know who to trust. Like, if I'm hanging out with my friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're just like talking some bullshit. Like, I can be like, yeah, I know, they're just like talking some bullshit right now. You know what I'm saying? But like. On social media, somebody could be doing that. In fact, we were just talking about.
They do that. Yeah.
We were just talking about like, I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but the whole treasure of Antifa, just like being like a jokester and doing satire. On social media.
Turned it into that.
People believe that that's real. And like. In real life, if somebody's joking, you can generally tell, right? But like, apparently, if you're just doing satire, Antifa stuff,
you can't joke about Antifa.
People will actually be like, "Oh yeah, I found a leader of."
Man, but hey,
and like the George Soros
that
stuff.
Antifa thing, man, it's so funny to me, but it's like, dang, it's scary, man, because people really believe that
right wingers.
These face mask thing is like a real thing.
And like it's also so bizarre because like maybe I'm just old school and I'm like, well, if you're anti-fascist, you're Antifa, and I know Antifa is sort of like a set of tactics or whatever. Like you're actually doing the job to like root out fascism.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, I feel like all of us are doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like we're like, hey, you're like,
nah. I definitely am. And somebody posted on their thing that the police was messing with him and said he had Antifa items in his thing, and I was like, well, shit, my whole house is an Antifa item. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hopefully everybody's.
But yeah, man. So anyway, we got to January of 2020.
Getting back to the social media thing, I know we're supposed to do our year-end retrospective.
Yeah.
This is one thing that social media is helping with, though, because we learned tactics from the Hong Kong protesters, like the umbrella thing.
Right.
That now everybody like, look, it's the best way to just like it's a light shield basically that deflects rubber bullets and shit. Like, doink, doink. And we learned that from the Hong Kong protesters. Also, it doesn't work, but putting the cones over the tear gas canisters and then pouring the water in it, like. That was something that people picked up from Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe they just have different cones in Hong Kong.
Right.
Like when I witnessed it here, it didn't really work.
Just made it fun of it.
Yeah. Well, and they're not cones.
Oh, it comes out the bottom.
It comes out the bottom too.
Yeah,
like they're not like airtight on the bottom.
Yeah.
But still,
different.
You learn like things from like watching social media because social media is actually global.
Right.
You get to see things from all over the globe.
Yeah.
If you think about old media. CBS, ABC, all these things, they weren't showing like protest
like
tactics
how they were
on
doing
CBS.
it.
Like there's no way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So again, it taught us we were able to like do more. And again, for this generation, I can't think of. I mean, I guess the LA riots would, but I don't believe that was I think that was like really a legit riot. You know what I'm saying? Like just fighting the cops. But it feels like what happened these last 2 years is really the first time in my life that am I wrong about that?
About what?
That like it's been this big and like as easy to get people to come along go
I mean, this summer seems like it was
acting
some of the most. I mean, this is what people have been saying. They're probably the largest protests we've ever seen in the history of the country.
Okay.
Which I know people like to look back on the '60s and think that was because it was long. That was like a sustained thing, and that's one thing. It wasn't that sustained here, but it was
like
quick and you know. But I mean, if you think about the number of protests that were happening in the country, like it was huge, and then how quickly the corporations and governments and things responded, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's just like what you said with Bobby Seale. Like, they did what they did then, and they were successful with their goals then, but we have, like, a different world that we're living in now, so we need to think about.
Thing going on, yeah. So, all right, man. Yeah, I think you're right, bro. I think that without social media, I believe that none of this stuff would not have happened the way that it happened.
No, I don't think so either. I mean,
it would have been easy. Like, again, we wouldn't have saw George Floyd. We wouldn't have saw Philando Castile. We wouldn't have saw any of these things happening, and it would have still been all. It's not that bad. You know, look, hey guys, our police force.
Yeah, you know, people have been.
They killed 3 people or 4 people in the last. However many arrests or whatever. You know, it would have been the same argument. So yeah, I think that there's not a question about what social media's power and literally what it did for our movement. You know what I'm saying? As poor people. You know what I'm saying? Around the country.
It's just that then I think you have to say, because there was this whole conversation for a while that's like, did social media make these movements? Like the Iranian uprisings a few years back and like the Arab Spring. Everybody's like, oh, social media created that. And it's like,
no, it's a different time, man. It's a different time, different circumstance.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything was different, man. You know, it was like.
Well, it's also just a tool, right? I mean, it's just social media is a specific tool that you can use.
Where you got to go. Like,
exactly.
They still had to go out there and do. You know, like there were people that was just like
people were knocking on each other's doors too. Like during the Arab uprising. Or the Arab Spring uprising.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we didn't just like post something on social media. We actually went and talked to our neighbors, which is probably something we could do more of today.
Yeah.
You know, like I generally don't talk to my neighbors about politics.
Me either. Oh, especially not politics. Right now I got a dude that works at the prison that lives on my street.
Oh, really?
And I be seeing him like, look, I don't even talk to him, man. I don't even look. I wouldn't even spit in his direction. He never even spoke to him. He knows I'm not feeling him. You know?
Right. I don't think I have any horrible neighbors.
Man, he hurts my nerve every time I see him, man. But anyway, so but though on the flip side of this thing, like right now, what I just said, like that guy, he irks my nerves because he's a guard or whatever. You know, like man, I guess when you talk about subjects that are sensitive, you know what I'm saying, and whatever, you know, I don't know. There's all kind of things that can mess social media's vibe up. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And then it could like literally be used to like stomp out a movement. You know what I'm saying? Where where the same way that the infighting happened, you know, with all of the different movements that happened throughout time, and they infiltrate, you know, with the cop or the whatever, and the snitch and all of this stuff going. You know, it's just with social media now. They don't even have to work hard.
I was thinking about that, or maybe we were talking about this. Like, you don't even have to have cops go into infiltrate groups anymore. They can just infiltrate people's through social media. And they just, like they did with COINTELPRO. Think about COINTELPRO. Their main tactic wasn't like killing protesters or anything like that. It was spreading rumors and mistrust in the movement. And think about how easy that would be with social media.
Well, how easy it is, and then like city to city, including ours, you can find it, and see where it happened at. You know, and like activists shooting at each other. You know, it happened here. Activists robbing another activist. You know what I mean? Right. Like things are crazy when it gets down to it, and then social media is used to either compound that or do whatever, however your skill is. You know what I'm saying? At that using that thing there and treating it like it's really for real. You know what I'm saying? Because then that's the only way that people get down with it is like, okay, this dude ain't just on here, you know, with the fake, football quotes and things like this. You know what I'm saying? So anyway. Yeah, there's bad part to it. You gotta pay attention to it. Once you hit a certain part of acceptance and like where you're a resource to the community, there's a responsibility that everybody gains, and it's not like just the Just Cause or the Chinook or the K-Land community. It's not just that. It's like there's a dude that I know that just goes and turns his live on every day, and as soon as he turns it on, there's like 15 people watching him just talk about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude is the same, just as much of a outlet resource type of thing as anybody else is. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, getting on there talking about gay people the wrong way, or talking about even white people, I don't want to say the wrong way, but you can't. The poor white people are in the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta be careful just being just blatantly disrespectful to a whole group of people, and all of these things happen because of personal connections that's going on social media. The good and you can have the bad part of it too if you don't manage that stuff right, man. Gotta manage it.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotta manage it. I saw there was a post that a girl made on my page, and she said, she was like, kind of being sarcastic. You know the one that doesn't care about what they put off on the world because of what they believe. You know the one that just will say whatever the hell they want and you got to deal with it with their truth. You know what I mean? Like, just don't give a shit what you put off on people. You got to be careful with that. And I was that dude for a long time. Like, man, just F y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I really felt that. You know what I'm saying? But of course, like there was things I didn't know or didn't understand or didn't have perspective on. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, just want to be careful with that stuff, man. And then I don't know. I guess you can kind of mitigate it, but if you try to like sterilize your social media presence, you might as well just not even. In my opinion, you might as well just do something. Just do it another way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're worried about it too much. But
I'm gonna create my own social media that's got that's old people.
Just old folks?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait,
no, that's Facebook.
That probably already is.
Or that's that new right wing one. What's
Oh, like your own Facebook, or like your own Medium, like your own thing. Yeah. Parler, I heard about.
Yeah.
I heard all of the Trumpsters on there.
Yeah.
We're out of Facebook. Good, man. Like, good for them.
But this is also the problem is that like then you don't get people
changing anything.
Yeah, you don't get to talk to people who might have a different perspective.
Yeah, I wonder how much that actually happens anyway. Sometimes I try when I get into these little things, like when I'm sitting, doing whatever, and I try to talk to somebody with a differing, opinion or whatnot. It's like, all right, I'm not gonna be disrespectful. I'm gonna be like ultra polite and like trying to be understanding, and that like you kill them with kindness type of thing, and that works sometimes. When you get into the right kind of conversation, if you like got time and give a shit about doing that, you know what I'm saying? But I've done that a few times, but then I've also done that thing,
where you're just like straight up going,
look at this dude. I bet you're going to get. I bet I know. I see your type. All that stuff.
Totally.
So man. Anyway, they when we got to January 2020, Australia was burnt. Speaking of,
like looking back on this year, changing topics.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like we were just talking, like, oh, it's a bad year, it's a good year, but it's been a crazy year. Like when you just go through month by month and like think about everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that Lenin quote that somebody got correct on your social media.
What was it?
Man, I've already forgotten it.
Lenin.
Decades. There's some years when decades happen.
And like decades happens in weeks, and there's weeks that decades.
Yeah.
Oh,
somebody
happens for decades, and then there's weeks that decades.
Yeah,
happen.
Something like that.
Like
Somebody correct us. Look up Lenin for us.
Who was that? I think that was Amanda. Oh, and Iggy. I owe him mass still. That's why.
Still owe him. I haven't seen Iggy since the summer.
Yeah, he's been. I seen him. He's out there moving around. But I owe him all mass. I don't think I gave anybody the mass that they won from that.
I haven't seen Amanda around for a while either, actually.
Yeah, she was upset, man. She hit me up on I forgot. I don't even know how to refer to it.
Okay.
Yeah, she hit me up on our scuff up online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
She was upset.
Yeah, but like I had completely forgotten about this. But the way this year started was, remember, Australia was just like generally on fire.
Yeah.
And those images, it was Armageddon in Australia.
Right. Yeah.
And what's funny is I think everybody's like 2020.
Right. Yeah.
2020. Like 2020. This is the year we've been waiting for since I don't know whenever. You know, like the future. 2020 is the real future.
Yeah.
And it was like it starts out with Australia on fire, and most people are like, yeah, because climate change is drying out the environment in these arid places.
Right.
I mean, look at this. How many times has it snowed in
Dog,
Colorado Springs
it was
this year?
65 degrees yesterday. I saw Blood Allen. He said, man, he was like, where's the snow?
Yeah, Pikes Peak has even hardly any snow.
Yeah.
Almost January.
I was like, you know, sometimes you got to think, man, like when I was a kid here, bro, it used to snow.
Yes.
I mean, snow a lot
Yeah.
out here in the wintertime. February was always the worst.
Yeah.
But so we're still got to get to it. I think it's still
like we haven't had a snowstorm that's been more than like 2 inches, have we? Or even an inch. I don't even know if
we had. Well,
this
maybe
year?
I don't know how big it was.
This
I don't
winter?
know. There was a few pretty big dumps though. I can't remember.
This one?
Yeah.
Maybe it depends on where you live.
Yeah, like out on the western slope they call it.
Oh
like
no, I meant in Colorado Springs. Yeah, out west. Yeah.
Yeah, like I seen people with big ass sticks of, you know what I'm saying? That we got some good snow already. But anyway, not here though. It used to snow here. You're right. It used to be
like,
green.
I remember
Everything was
tunnels in the snow.
Yeah, like the grass just grew. You know what I'm saying? Like all kind of stuff was different.
But it's like the climate is getting warmer.
Right. Yeah.
And we're not really.
And then so what got me about Australia was when I saw the little koala bear, the little babies, like, or no, in the the baby kangaroo, man. I was like, oh my god, the thing is like everything it touches is hot, man, that I was like, dang, man, I didn't think I was an animal person, but that shit was like, fuck, dude, I would have tried to help that thing too, man.
I mean, I think everybody, would.
Yeah.
Totally.
So anyway, then I'm like, where are the people at? But then, as it turns out, like they're good. You know what I'm saying? They got it together. It was a disaster or whatnot, but like it didn't kill people. Right? Am I wrong about that?
I think it did kill people.
Did
I think it killed people, and it destroyed a lot.
Maybe I shut my ass up.
You know what?
I'm sure it did, yeah.
It's been a long year.
Yeah.
People will forgive you if you forget a few things about what happened in January.
I can't remember, like, 20 people or something. I just don't remember it being that, but I could be completely wrong.
Yeah,
again, we don't hear freaking news about nothing
especially
on that side
now.
of the
I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, like,
unless it's like something they're making money off of, their little tennis
right,
shit that they do.
And then February, going back, that's actually when Ahmaud Arbery was shot.
Yeah.
It was February this year.
Dang.
That's crazy, right? And I think that, the George Floyd killing, and we didn't hear about it. Ahmaud Arbery was shot in February.
Okay. That's when he was actually
hear
shot.
About it for months.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that was that long ago. So what month? I don't remember. I thought it was like 4 months or something before we heard about it.
Nobody was talking about it. Because just for some reason, then we also
that makes sense because right in May.
Yeah. But that's when also Trump came to town.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was December.
No, Trump came to town in February.
Oh dang, yeah, man, we shut it down, boy.
What's interesting is I think that was really like maybe I don't know, maybe I'm giving. I haven't lived here that long since like Trump has been in office, but I think that protest was like even the police were a little surprised at the level of like militancy. Not to say that there weren't militant protests in Colorado Springs before that. I know there are like plenty of people, but I think the police over the last few years have been seeing increasing militancy at protests, and this one too. Like compared to the last time, like when Bush came to the World Arena back when during the Iraq War.
Yeah, I was in Iraq.
Everybody was just like standing there politely, and the cops were actually driving by filming everybody, and and we were just allowing it. Oh yeah, don't pound. Yeah. But people were like willing to go out and do some shit during that protest.
Yeah. What got me about that protest was how many supporters showed up.
Yes.
I was so discouraged, man. When I saw all of those people, I was like,
it is discouraging.
I was like, oh man, there's a lot of them, bro. And then like walking through, you saw all of the black people selling hats and for this, blacks for Trump, Hispanics for Trump. I'm like, oh, y'all really exist? I thought that was just like
I felt like those were like
CNN,
for
it's
white
like,
people
man,
to like assuage their guilt or something.
Yeah,
white Trump support. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was weird, man. But then when you think about it, I was looking at them, man. They was out there getting all the money. All the money. And I said, okay, whatever, bro. I almost want to donate to you because I'm happy that you're out here
probably just
balling like
money.
that.
Who knows if they're even supporters?
Exactly. What makes them a supporter? They're just selling this. It don't. I mean, he had the whole. He was a black dude. You know what I'm saying? Black family. You know what I'm saying? With a big ass trailer full of Trump hats. They pocket like this, giving change out. I'm like, man, his son had a gun. sitting over there, protecting the shit. I was like, oh, all right, okay, all right, man, cool. Bro. I was mad at it. It pissed me off right then, but
also,
it just gave me perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's just where we're at. We wouldn't see that here. But
I think they like followed them around too.
They
just
were
go
there
from rally to
before
rally to rally.
Yeah, they were set up like a day before.
Yeah.
They follow him and they made bread. Somebody should do a documentary on them cats. I bet you people got rich off of that dude. I don't remember presidents doing so many of these rallies either.
No, that's his thing.
It's weird. He made a lot of money for these carnival people. You know what I'm saying? Went around selling stuff at his stuff, man. But anyway, so they hunted Ahmaud Arbery down in February.
Yeah. And then March, that's when Breonna Taylor was murdered.
Yeah.
And that's also when we had that. Well, so Trump actually knew about the COVID coming to the United States in January. And it wasn't until March that people started Europe started locking down in March, and the United States started putting in some measures in March, which is like crazy because it's been since March that we have been dealing with this, which is a lot to think about.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not sure I want to think about how long it's been, because I remember when they put the stay-at-home orders in place. I'm like, I gotta stay inside for 2 days or whatever.
Like what is this?
Like a couple weeks. I was like, how are we gonna deal with this?
No,
for
I
a
was
couple
cool.
Weeks?
I was cool on that. What I was trying to figure out is like, how are they gonna make people stay in their house though? Yeah, and then it was like everything's closed. I said, oh, that's how you do it.
Well, I remember those first few days. It was just like. Then everybody was out walking their dog. Every single person in Colorado Springs was just like out walking their dog. Just gonna go out and walk my dog.
That's
how I'll stay safe.
I think that, and also Just Cause started in March, right?
April, it turns out.
Oh, was it April?
I think we started we started putting it together in March.
Oh, okay.
And then I think our first one.
Yeah, because I just remember like COVID happening, and we were like, man, we might as well do this so we can have something going on.
Yeah, because we've been talking about we should have a thing, and then it took us being locked at home for
us to get it done. Yeah, but I mean, we was on it though. Dang, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then in April here, I mean, when we look back, that's when like Comcor was locked down because of the outbreak. So we had our People's Grocery, and that's when Just Cause started.
Yeah. We did that thing with Lanes, and that was dope. Dang,
I think March is when we did the first People's Grocery out there at Switchbacks, and then April was the Comcor People's Grocery.
Okay.
I feel.
Maybe was it that's. I feel like we did one at Verde Park for something.
I think that was later in the summer when we did a fundraiser.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I've looked at my crow's, what are they called? Crow's feet around my eyes in like February and December of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking fresh and young.
Then you start growing your hair out, beard went everywhere. Me too. I grew this junk out.
That's true. And then in December, it's like we're like it's just like worn and beaten down or whatever. Like
that was nuts, man. That Concord thing, man. I don't know if you remember, but like it hit the net. Lanes like put out this thing, and there was another couple other women that were in the facility, and I was like, dang, man. So, we was like, yep, let's try to get something done. And I put up a fundraiser.
Yeah,
and it was like I think at first I did. Hey, let's just do $500. You know what I'm saying? Just try to get enough so that we can make something. Cause I didn't think that we was gonna get enough to do the whole facility. And then it was like 20 minutes, $500. I was like, oh shit, so we bumped it up and was like, man, well, if we can get the whole facility, then it'll be super dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we figured out, we calculated it. So anyway, we raised it up to $2,000, and before the afternoon, we had everything that we needed from the community to get all them bags together. And I don't remember how many bags it was.
In our little
room
in my house,
80 or 90 bags. We put them all together. This was before the Chinook Center. Yeah, we were still doing stuff at the house, and then we put everything in the van and chucked it down. That was fun, man. That was the first time when I was like, oh shit, the community will like help us make things happen for real. You know what I'm saying? Like all you gotta do is tell them what you're doing, and then. We talked about this earlier. Like, I think that might have been the last time I went to them too. Like, guys, help me pay for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just every single day asking people for money or whatever.
But people also, I think part of it, and I think what was nice about that Comcor thing was like, Comcor's people that are incarcerated, But the community was like, I don't care.
Right.
Man.
Yeah,
they need help.
Yeah, they need
that
stuff,
that was like really inspiring to me. That like people weren't like judgy and like, well, they can get corona, they're in.
Right.
Did you hear people talking like that sometimes?
Yeah, they didn't say nothing like that on my page. But you're right though. I'm sure that they do. But there's more. That's the thing. There's more of us than them, man. Like every single time. The people that are in support of people being locked up and all of this stuff, there's more people that are like, man, no, dude, like fix that crap, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's not all black people, it's white people, Hispanic, it's all everybody. It's like got a demographic and that's like, nah, bump all that. You know, it's crap.
It's just this weird tiny minority of people that just they get up in arms about every tiny little like infraction that anybody's ever made. You know, like,
right? Yeah, this
person just needs to take personal responsibility, or whatever. You know, like it's.
Hey, Pop says you can't trust the purists, man. He said, ask Germany. Can't trust them. Yeah, man. So are we in May? May, man. That's when our Ahmaud Arbery case broke.
Yeah, exactly.
And we finally found out about. Man, I remember when I heard about that. Boy, I tell you, I think me and Jareem was like, fam. You want to go out there?
Yeah,
like we were gonna go, man.
Well, we had heard about it because we were gonna talk about it in April, because it started trickling out in April, but then that video got released in May.
Yeah.
And it was like watching something that like you imagine like, oh, that's how the United States used to be. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah.
And like white dudes just like hunting people down in the South.
God.
It was just like, I have to say though, there's been like so many things like that this year. People have been sharing that post from Breonna Taylor. It was like from Christmas last year, her Twitter post. It was like, oh, I hope I have a kid by next year so I can be as happy as you. It's just like every time I see that too, it's like this huge punch in the gut. It's just like, oh my God, dude, this world is
freaking crazy, man. Damn, that's
and there was
nuts,
something else that just hit me too. I was like, oh my God, dude, it's true. Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was, but yeah. And actually going through this and being reminded of Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and all this, it's just like that Ahmaud Arbery video. And thinking back too, I mean, I think that's what happened. It was like Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd was just like, people were like, you know what?
Yeah, that's enough of this shit, man.
Yeah,
it's enough of this. And then, compounded, like, every city had its own thing that we could go to. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we had Devon Bailey and Josh V. Hill and Henry Melvin. And then, in Denver, Elijah McClain. Yeah. These things, all of this shit, we're just like, oh, man, hold on. It's a wrap, bro. You know what I'm saying? And in every city. And then, when Minneapolis turned up, that's another thing, the same conversation. Like, I didn't realize, when you think Minneapolis, you think like northern white folks, and then African immigrants. I think of like the African migrants and stuff. Right? Yeah. There's a big, but I don't think of fight the police. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it went down. I was like,
when you think of Minnesota, you're like, they asked the police nicely for change. You know
what
I'm saying?
Yeah. Like Minnesota
like
nice. Yeah, Minnesota nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but nah, bro, it was like complete opposite. So then it was like, oh, well, bro, Minnesota? I guarantee if they do it, we got the funk that it takes to do that same thing here for sure. So that's kind of, I started trying to learn and figure out what was happening. You know what I'm saying?
We should all take a trip to Minneapolis.
It was my plan to burn this bitch down the same way. Let's go.
Every single and if you'll recall, because once things popped off here, you'll recall that the way that the police chief handled it was like, wrote a letter that was like, I know this thing happened 2,000 miles away.
Right.
And this is what just was like so insulting. And I wonder how many cities did this.
Yeah.
That were like, this is something that's not here.
Right, yeah,
but like guys. You said, every city, Phoenix had their own things that they had been dealing with for years too. Salt Lake City, these different things that you hear about. It's like all these people who have just been talking about injustice for years and years and years and years finally are like,
let's join it up. Yeah,
we're taking a cue from Minneapolis.
The whole country is now you're seeing on the news, every city got a protest cracking and
exactly.
Then even here, I don't know about y'all, but our environment was like, y'all going to the protest? What time y'all going? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, we were going down there every day. You know what I'm saying? Every day we're going down there to see what's going on and be a part of whatever is happening, man. So that part for me, obviously, that part for me was bittersweet, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm so tired of looking at these people kill us for free, man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And like, I'm to the point now that, you know, I've said it publicly, but like, the police better not do that shit here, man.
When they kick in your front
Bro,
door,
it's going down. They better leave us alone, man, and get it together and get it figured out. Because it's not like, no, we're not gonna. And then, you know, we can talk about the Chinook Center coming up because then, well, I guess I'm just gonna jump to it real quick because this isn't. Yeah, so the Chinook Center opening up in August, we kind of made this thing where we're like, okay, now we're gonna be ready for the next time. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be ready for when they just blatantly disregard this stuff. And like, you know, it kind of spun up in the middle of all of the protesting, figuring out
more of this like,
programming.
what's the like sort of the chaos, and like whatever that happens all the time, but like. We're going to be organized.
Yeah, we're going to be organized.
Time. Everybody's going to know what everybody else is doing, so that when things pop off,
it's going to go the right way. And you know, maybe not like, you know, this is the only thing happening either, but like our portion of this thing over here is going to be together, and people around us are going to be able to see the activists moving. So anyway, I think that middle part of this year was really like the part.
I mean,
where
that
we
was
galvanized,
inspirational too.
It
was like, okay, like windows are getting broken and police stations are getting burned down, but it was and I think protest movements need to move beyond just like expressions of grief, which is important. I think that's actually an important part of what protests do. Yeah. But they also need to like start building towards something bigger, you know what I'm saying? Right. But I think that's what started to happen a lot.
Yeah,
More people actually started to talk. When those people painted Black Lives Matter equals defund the police, started that conversation about like, well, yeah, what does it actually mean to say Black Lives Matter instead of just like being just a slogan?
Right, exactly. Yeah, like what are we talking about here? Yeah, exactly, man. And then like, you know, we talked about the Alliance and the Be the Change, and you know, I don't even know. That's just in our circle, you know. I'm sure there's other like things that happened in the city that just like came from all of this stuff. Everybody was moving, you know what I'm saying? From the anarchists to the on the fencers, you know what I'm saying? They were doing things, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just feel like we witnessed and was a part of a paradigm shift, or the inception of it, or something there. You know what I'm saying? There's something there,
and we are going to have to keep fighting because there's a lot of people that want to protect this system.
Right, and it's just kind of waiting them out, like Jill Gabler said. The best way for government to move is slow, because we need to move. We need to wait you guys out. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, good things that came out is we got people running for city council.
So I think a lot more people are like, we need actual, real change, not just like these little. And then once July came around, like the Black Lives Matter protests had sort of spread out to this whole like, let's start talking about this whole white supremacy in America thing, So like in Pueblo, followed by all these other protests, you start
to see, down.
You start seeing Columbus come down. You see these like old war criminals come down. These old colonialists come down because they're like, wait, this isn't just a matter of like cops killing black people. It's about this whole system of white supremacy that everything has been built upon. Right. And granted, they took it down in Denver. They didn't take it down. They pulled it down in Denver.
Yeah,
they pulled those things down.
Yeah, they took it down. But the people did.
But things started to grow. People started to actually question like this whole white supremacist culture that the United States is built upon, and started challenging it.
They like seeing what this whole thing was built from this thing. There's no reason to celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? And that came to my comment earlier is that America literally celebrates its oppression with a celebration. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy as hell to me, man. It's nuts, man. But anyway, in Colorado Springs. A win for our indigenous community. They got it's now Indigenous Day in Colorado Springs. And
shout out to Monica for that.
Yeah, Monica. Yeah, she's dope, man. Anyway, I was gonna go off.
That came out of those protests. Right. Like all of this stuff, it just started, and the Cheyenne Mountain, they're trying to get that mascot changed at Cheyenne Mountain too, which is like, I can't believe people are fighting.
Why is that even a discussion? Yeah, man,
it's so bizarre.
Stupid to me, bro. But anyway, but they're really, and it's all white people. Like that means a lot to me to call this an Indian. You know what I'm saying? Like we're Indians because we want to be that. Because it means a lot to me to be Indian.
Yeah, it might mean a lot
It's just weird, bro. Like, man, shut your ass up, man. God, it just don't make any, like, you're completely separated from what and who you are, you know, as a person on earth. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense.
Totally.
It's actually sad, man.
It is. I agree. I agree. What's crazy though is too, in September and October, that's when we really started to see like those people who are, there is a segment of society, I think maybe they don't like acknowledge to themselves that like, yes, we live in a white supremacist society.
Yeah.
When people started fighting back, that's when the police really started fighting back. Like, no, this is unacceptable.
Right.
And that's when city councils and all these conservatives started like pushing back, and like, you know, Colorado Springs Police Department started just cracking down on everybody. The I-25 protesters, they're like, no, we're not going to be lenient on them.
Right,
After the Devon Bailey protest, the anniversary protest up in Pulpit Rock, you know, charging people with felonies. And this always happens with every amount of change. There's always that blowback, you know, and it just so happens that the people who are fighting back now are like people in positions like police, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, like
and they're trying to, exactly, and they're trying to send a message to people that are trying to like make
to
these
break
changes,
this thing
you know
down.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like, no, we're really in control of this thing. Here's your felony charge for standing on the median or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And because we said so. And then not only that, they used COVID to drag the cases out. Like even now, we had cases that are supposed to be going up in January, and they pushed them to they said after April. We're not even going to talk about it. So it's like you're holding this over these people's head, and it's another way. They're basically on probation right now.
Yeah,
like unsanctioned probation.
But, I mean, if I even think about my own case coming from the Trump protests, it's like it took so much longer because of all the COVID stuff, and the city attorney was like, oh, we didn't get all the discovery handed over because of COVID, which, you know, so that meant 3 months of just limbo, but that limbo means like you're essentially on probation,
right?
And then like another 12-month deferred sentence. So it's like it extends these things out, and then we've talked about this too. Like COVID is just this like blessing for people,
right?
Where they're just using it. They're like,
because of COVID, we gotta
because of September 11th, just like that. You know, we talked about like
you're right about that shit too, man.
I mean, the inspiring thing is like usually this blowback doesn't last. It's the last. Their last gasp before they die, you know what I'm saying? They're trying.
Right, because the injustice will show, you know what I'm saying? And but anyway, I don't think it will in specific places unless you have the foundation to fight it back. I think that if they have the ability to just pummel you, you know, like for instance, when these people did get these charges or whatnot, they were by themselves, for instance, or you know what something peripheral was happening, you know. They'll use that and attack it. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to have the foresight and the I guess the foresight, to fight through that or whatever is important, man.
Like
right?
There is something that's going to come out the other end.
Yeah, this next portion of it when they start opening these things up and evicting people out of their homes and sending them to court and all of these things, they're going to just try to kick it back on. You know, and like, all right, we got these people kind of chilled out, working from home and. All of this shit is happening, man. So,
but you have to remember, like, it's not just the protests in the street; it's this whole long struggle that, like, works through all these different institutions. You know, like you said, having that foresight to sort of see that this is going to continue.
It's going to continue and happen more and more intensely, and then, like, when I say more intensely, like laser focused on this one thing or one person or whatever. You know. Anyway, I'm waiting on. I'm sure they're trying to figure me out, man. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna put a thumb on me. They just can't, man. They can't do it. They can't do it. They're like, man, this dude's the most boringest Facebook poster ever. That's all I do is post on Facebook, baby. Yeah, man. So what happened?
And then November, you know, at least November we got something exciting to happen. Like
what was that?
What was that? What happened in November?
Can't remember. Doggone it, man.
COVID? I don't know. Like
because of COVID.
Yeah.
I think it was the presidency.
Yeah. We finally
got them
voted out.
Cheeto face.
Supposedly. I mean, through cheating.
Through cheating. And
no, wait, we can't be sarcastic because people will believe it.
Whatever, I don't care. Cheating, cheaters never win. I'm sure they did cheat them. I don't doubt that they did.
Well, the only case that they found in Pennsylvania of election fraud has been a guy that voted for Trump. He voted for Trump himself, and he had filled out his mother-in-law's.
That was dead or something.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
I'm sure they got a bunch of little things like that happen. Who cares, bro? So what? I don't care, man. You know, I told him, Biden. I can't think of her name. God dog it. The Secretary for Interior. He put in indigenous woman in the seat. I can't think of her
Yeah.
name right now. But anyway, you know, it was like, yeah, bro, you know what I'm saying? And then I think he put the Secretary of Defense as a black man. I served under he was Austin is his name. I can't. Anyway, he was a CENTCOM commander while I was in a couple places. But you know, it's like, yeah, of course he got this shit because he was black. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you should say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should say yes. I put these people here specifically
for this reason
because it's just not something that they've been allowed to do, and we've been oppressing them this whole time, and it's okay to do it, like fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like doing the other shit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
When people talk about reverse racism, it's like, well, we've had hundreds of years of like propping up white people and like literally keeping down people of color, like putting your boot on people of color while you're helping out white. And so it's like a few years of like helping people of color. Like, what's the harm?
It is harmful because it's don't nobody want to give no power back to nobody. Bump that. Then you know this is the thing where I didn't do that. But they understand very fully well what they benefit from. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it comes out in conversations like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
I don't know. I think some people, you know, I've met, and I'm doing that thing. Like, I've met a lot of, and it's mostly white dudes, that don't seem to understand that all the things they have in life weren't just them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They literally think that they've done everything themselves. Like there's nothing that has like supported them and backed them up. They're like, well, I'm just an amazing person.
Right. Yeah, I'm just good at this stuff. I'm just exceptional.
That's why I'm a middle manager at a national corporation.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You know, and then with us, we're taught, no, you got to be better. You know, you got to work just as hard as them, but then you got to be better at that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't just be on the same playing field. We know that, and they don't somehow, but they do. You know what I'm saying? They do.
Yeah, I've often wondered about that, like how much people actually are aware of this stuff. And I don't know though. I go back and forth, to be perfectly honest. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, how stupid you got to be to like not understand this? But then you know, I encounter people.
It's naivety.
Naivete. Yeah.
Anyway, whatever, man. So I know this month, K-Land Community Care showed out.
Yeah.
So they asked with the giveaway, the K-Land Christmas in K-Land. That was dope, man. I've never seen.
You know, what's crazy is like I can't wait to do it, like help out again because, and part of me is just because I'm like, oh, we could do like it was a logistical feat to do that.
Yeah, we could do it better next time.
Yeah, I'm like really looking forward to like if you're listening, D,
it's going down.
we
need to do it, and I'm also thinking like. If we would have did it at dusk, like when the sun was going down, we could have lights, like a little, like you know how they go through the little thing, and then at the end they get their thing. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, we finna holler. And if you don't want to do it, then we'll do our own. We'll just do it that day too. Oh, maybe we can just do it that day. Anyway, D.
Come on.
Come holler at me, man.
You know you want to do it again.
Hey man, that's one thing. They're big about being consistent. They're big about being thorough, and you know what I'm saying, just like really getting exactly what they said done. You know what I'm saying? You could. I mean, just think about when Jen came and told us there's gonna be 200 people. Me and Sam were like, you know. We didn't think that, you know what I'm saying? We're like that, just being ambitious, you know what I'm saying? And we're like, okay, but you know, but we're gonna be ready for it just in case. But we were thinking like we're gonna have to give away more for the people's grocery the next day. We were thinking. Come to find out, man, they emptied the whole thing out that day. It was 400 people that got bags that day. Sam said 400 people, man. So yeah, man. Was that between Saturday and Sunday? Maybe I'm tripping. Anyway,
maybe it was between.
I think her last post was 400 folks. Anyway, it was a whole lot of people that got food that day.
And people were like, you know, I know that people had to wait in line, which, you know, I don't remember the dude's name, but he was doing a really good job of doing like logistical stuff in the parking lot, making sure. Oh, well, Big Will too. The further back part, but the other dude who came down, whose name I can't remember. Sorry,
okay, I can't think of him. Yeah, I don't know who was over there.
But it was an impressive feat because people were like, oh my god, you know, like and. I think next year we can
make it a little bit
make
different.
it a little bit like easier. And Dee was doing such a great job, like bringing Santa back there, and like I think people felt like they were on the red carpet, and so like it sucks to wait in line.
Right,
you
right.
know,
he did a good job.
He did a good job of making people feel like
and,
this was an important thing.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of good things that we could do next year that I want to do next year to help out to make it better. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's the thing about community and the Chinook Center being where it's at. Like, we'll be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll be able to figure out something and not even put extra pressure on them or make more. I hate when people give me ideas and then it's work for me.
You do this, yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we can
those.
come up with things and then, like, we're going to do it there and we'll be able to make it better. And then, like, make it more of a service to the people, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, that's dope. And again, I guess really what I'm saying is to add on to their capacity.
Yeah, definitely. And understanding, like at first I didn't really understand. Like I thought some people be walking along that shopping center and stuff, and picking up some gifts, but that would have been.
Nah, yeah, Jen knew. She was like, nah, it's about to be hundreds. It was like, what? Like, it's about to be hundreds.
And there were 2 other gift giveaways that day.
Yeah.
And then IBEW did one the next week.
And then the Southside Alliance did one the next day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Theirs was like successful, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I mean, again, we found a place where people need that, whatever is going on, and the community can plug it and fill it in, man.
It's also disturbing, though, because you realize how much just like this year has been so hard on people. It's like a lot of people are, and talking about that $600 a month. $600 6 months after you gave people $1,200, like the average rent in Colorado Springs is $1,200.
Right.
$600 isn't gonna.
Yeah, that $1,200 didn't do much.
No. Yeah. That's kind of insulting.
Right. I couldn't believe it. Then when I saw all the money they was giving to the other countries in that bill, and then
just handing money out for all kinds of things.
I was like, what the hell are we sending money to all of the South America for? Like, what the hell?
And like more money for Israel's military.
Right. Yeah. I don't understand this, man. I don't understand all that. So, again, there was people on Facebook like, yeah, the sun shine on the dog ass too. Good job, Trump. Thank you. Thanks for blocking that. Because I guess he was like, hell no, we're not doing
some of the stuff he was criticizing, though, was stuff that his own administration put in it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Just
like,
this whole thing is just like...
But But anyway, who cares, bro? I think that they should just give all the money to the people. How about that? How about this? Get everybody's name in the country.
Give them some money.
And then count them all, okay? Then you see how much money you got in America. Then you divide it, and then just send us all the money.
You don't even have to see how much money you have, because we can just add to the debt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We have almost zero inflation right now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You could take all of the money and then just make everybody in our country millionaires, and then...
I have an idea. How about this? How about we all just go and take Jeff Bezos, whatever his name is.
Just take over all this shit.
Let's just take like $60 billion of his dollars.
That's a good amount.
He'll still have $20 billion. Like to make him like... make his ego do whatever.
Yeah, I say that we should do that. There was a meme. We're running past our hour right here, man. I saw a picture that somebody put up. There was this big table, right? White lady sitting there stuffing her face off, fat with meat and spaghetti and shit. It was really ugly, and then she was sitting across the table from a pig that was doing the same thing, stuffing his face. And then the table was tall, and there was 3 little miniature people at the bottom, like, give me some, and the lady was like dropping the crumb down to him.
Let them eat.
And I'm just like, hey man, I see what you're saying, but the truth is, there's more of a, like, we could flip that freaking table over, like right now. You know what I'm saying? We could go to Jeff Bezos' house. 3,000 people just run over the gate, and what they're gonna do is just start shooting into the crowd. Okay, there's more than 3,000 people. Like, we could take all of their shit, man. But anyway, that's my thinking, man. So anyway,
like. Jeff Bezos' house could probably house how many homeless people?
Yeah, all the mega churches just break the door open and go sleep in them. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? I heard this dude talk about bank robberies. Oh no, jewelry heist was like $60 million. They lost $60 million in jewelry heist this year or something like that. And I'm like, what? They got that much money to get stolen from them from a storefront? Like,
exactly.
Take that shit. You gotta go take some more of it, all of it. You know what I'm saying? They'll just put more. Rob the bank. The bank will be, you can take every dollar out of the bank and they'll be just fine.
We need to bring bank robberies back. During the Great Depression.
Well, they need to.
They were, not us. During the Great Depression, I don't know. During the Great Depression, bank robbers were folk heroes. Everybody was like, bank robbers.
I'm thinking about it too. Like, if you say, if there was people that was like, we're robbing every Wells Fargo up and down the whole state, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like people would be cheering them on, like hell
People
yeah,
would.
yeah. Like
know.
I would help. I would like pull my car out. Oh my bad, cop, my fault. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Block the cop
People
and shit.
would. I'm telling. Like, and I was reading this article about in Argentina. During the financial crisis in the early 2000s, and this happens a lot in Argentina and throughout Latin America, they're like, we're going to, like, political leaders, like politicians are like, we're going to ransack the grocery store, who's coming?
Dang.
And it's like, because we're in a recession.
Right.
And honestly, that's what people in the United States need to do.
Yeah.
Look, the police are there to protect $60 million worth of jewelry. I'm
Right.
sorry, there's people starving in the streets. You don't get that.
Yeah, you don't get to do that.
Like, maybe if we all were doing
just walk
fine.
up in Walmart and fill our cart up and go out to our cars.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
groceries.
Expropriate the wealth.
Maybe
of
instead
the wealth.
of those 400 people who come into the Chinook Center, we should meet at Walmart.
Yeah, and just be like, we're going in, stop us.
Let's go, and we want to get all of the meat, get everything's free, and we're all just gonna leave together. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
That would be
Well, charge people the right a month later.
charge the organizer with a felony.
But, yeah.
Whatever. I'll do it.
But you know what?
I don't care.
That
would be
there's
dope,
a,
man.
There's an old IWW
That just
story
gave me
about.
that idea gave me
I know.
goosebumps.
There's an old
Don't get
IWW
these homeless
story
folks
about
that
how
don't
they
meet up
used to
over
get arrested. They were arresting people for speaking on the corner up in Washington. It was like against free speech, and so they're like, every wobbly and which is what they call IWW members in the Northwest, come up to this town, and we're just all going to go up there. And so they would all go and they would all speak on the corner and get arrested.
Yeah.
And so like every single one of them got arrested, and then the townsfolk were like, I don't want to pay for these people in jail. And so they didn't prosecute any of them, basically.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
so
dope.
like overwhelming the justice system essentially.
Right,
And it's like
put
if
too many
people
people
were,
in
yeah,
it.
just
Yeah.
putting them in jail. What do you? Now you have to feed them.
Right.
Like you're gonna feed those people.
Right.
Of course, now they'd all get COVID, so I guess
Exactly. It's not a good time. Just wait till April. They're gonna clear it up in April, man.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So
Hey,
the lesson today is expropriation.
expropriation. Take that shit.
Expropriation.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, so we're gonna have a real, like, we're gonna have a wrap up, right, for the year, or are we not? Are we gonna do a video?
I don't know.
Maybe.
What?
I don't know. I think that we're gonna do something like a little more put together.
Yeah,
And,
let's do
like,
it.
And I really want to highlight the local activists.
I do too, actually.
That got down this
Let's make a
year.
little video.
Yeah, I think just something maybe. So anyway, there's gonna be
Watch our
something coming
YouTube
up. It might
channel.
not be like at the, we got a week left, so maybe it'll be in January.
But
or
you
something.
know what? I
We'll put some
turned in my
effort into it.
grades, so
Okay. Yeah. What's crazy is once you guys stop working, I got to get to work on these rules. But all right, man, I'm gonna holler at
All
y'all,
right.
man. Just cause, man.
Thanks
We
a
love
lot,
y'all. Thank you
everybody.
so much. We went
All
a
right.
little long today. Next week we'll be back. And John, hold on, bro. On Wednesday, let's plan the show.
Wednesday? Come on, that's like
I know.
2 days. That's 3 days.
I know. Wednesday, man. Because I think the people deserve like a little planning.
little
here.
planning?
Yeah.
What are you
Wednesday.
talking about, Sean? We plan
I'm
these all the
talking
time.
about your input into our success, John.
We plan these months in advance.
All right. Okay, we'll lie to the people this time. Hey, we love y'all, man. We'll holler at you, man. We go.
All right, peace.
Hey, you! We got your one!